Hey, what is up, everybody? Something a little different this time around. What I wanted to do was a toy review, and the awesome people over at NECA sent us some of their Series 3 25th Anniversary Simpson figures. If you're not familiar with this series, they've done 2 so far. Obviously, this is the 3rd, and they do some of the best guest stars. They do include some of the basic Simpson characters, but they try to include as many guest stars as possible, and they've done 3 sets so far. They've all been really awesome. So this time around, we actually received 8 of the figures of the actual, just the guest stars themselves. There were 3 I didn't get. We'll get to those in a few. But just really cool, and we'll look through them here a little bit. As you can see, we're just going through some of the individual ones. I have Stephen King on the screen right now, and we've got Leonard Nimoy coming up. Just a bunch of different ones, and this collection is really cool. If you're a fan of the show, you'll remember so many of these cameos. And it's just really awesome what NECA is doing. I've been a big fan of The Simpsons in toy form, obviously the show itself, for years now. And just to see NECA put out this type of line is so awesome. So to the figures themselves, they've done an amazing job with this line. I'm really impressed as a fan. Not to knock McFarlane Toys. I love McFarlane Toys. They do great things. But when they took over the line after the original Playmates, which is still one of my favorite lines of toys ever, the Playmates World of Simpsons, if you've never seen those, you've got to check those out. I've talked about those before in some of my written articles. But they're some of the best. And this line really picks up where that left off. The McFarlanes were more like dioramas and such, but this really picks up. So as you're getting a look at all the individual figures, talk about this set itself. This Series 3 set, the guest stars themselves included Penn and Teller, Leonard Nimoy, Stephen King, the members of R.E.M, and Bret the Hitman Hart, which is a personal favorite of mine. 3 of the figures that kind of sucked that I did not receive with this, and I appreciate what NECA did. But we had Lisa as a magician, we have Milhouse as a poet, and my absolute favorite that I didn't get is crushing me a little. I'm probably going to have to run out and find this. Mr. Burns as the alien. I believe he actually glows in the dark as well, from a classic Simpson episode where they find him in the woods. Man, does that look awesome, and I can't wait to find that. So what I went ahead and did here is I just shot a little video just showing you guys the figures in the packages, and I want you to be able to get a good look, see the packaging. NECA does a fantastic job recreating not exactly what Playmates used to do, but in that same spirit. Playmates figures back in the day, they were enabled with these little chips that when you connected them to certain playsets, they would say lines. These obviously don't have that, but honestly, the craftsmanship on these figures is just beautiful, and like I said, a perfect spiritual successor to that. So you're seeing Penn and Teller. We saw Stephen King before. We have Leonard Nimoy, and just the animated counterpart at the bottom of the box, Bret the Hitman Hart, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, in a classic episode where he goes to buy Mr. Burns' mansion and insults him, says it has some old man stink on it, and obviously the members of R.E.M. Got all 3 members, and one of the cool things is they all have their instruments, and everything fits perfectly. Now here we go. I actually took them out of the box because I am a fan, and I'm not, I'm going to put these with my collection. These are not going to just sit in a box. So I just wanted you to take a look at these. You see how well they just look like their TV counterparts, that animated version of the characters, and they take on a life of their own. They really do incorporate exactly what they look like. And just going through this again here, what I wanted to show you is the way that these look compared to that older Playmates line. As I told you, I'm a huge fan of those, and so what I did, I lined up I found random figures from around my house because I have tons of them, And I wanted to include a celebrity figure, Dr. Stephen Hawking, which is one of the greatest figures they've ever made, him in his wheelchair with the boxing glove and the helicopter. There's Patrick Stewart as number 1. And then some of the classic figures, Lionel Hutz, Barney as the Plow King, Hooter, the transfer student Wendell, and Werner Wolfcastle. So I just wanted you guys to see these and see the comparison of what I said. These really are that spiritual successor. NECA did a bang-up job with these. So I just love them. I hope you liked the video, and we'll keep more coming in the future. Peace.